You know, let's talk about the draft a little bit, because we already are 4 picks in, 2 picks on each side. We got a Void and a Tiny on the side of Ninja Pajamas, and the IO Gyro, which well, I know Viking gave the IO quite a few times to OG yesterday. They realized, hey, wait a second, that's kind of strong.
Well, then the qualifiers, they almost didn't make it here, primarily because they kept forcing this IO Gyro, and they didn't look super confident on it in the qualifiers.
I think they picked it 3 times so far. They looked okay in the games that they were winning, of course, but I think the strongest part of the Viking is their decision making, like what they need to do in certain situations, especially when you're feeling down, when you feel pressured. I think this is where their strength comes from. And like also the drafting part, where they not just pick heroes, they also pick their heroes to block like certain heroes that the enemy team is really good with.
That is always a risky business, though. Because if the enemy team is really good with it and you block pick it because of that, it means they might also know how to counter it, because if you're really good at something, you also know what's annoying to play against. It could backfire.
We see more and more Tiny shifting from just position 4 to being a core, either like 1 or mid, where he gets the levels, goes around the map, creates a lot of space. We saw Thompson Tiny yesterday, who was like godlike 15 minutes in already. I did not think that we're gonna see this hero as a mid, to be honest. Like, I just didn't feel like it, but somehow teams are making it work.
Well, are they? The thing about it, if you can threaten kills with your combo, we saw Boom play yesterday with the Echo Saber rush after Blink. The problem is there's no sustained damage. So you effectively need to start a fight killing a key target. Not CC, but just killing somebody, and then you look to reset. But your right-click damage isn't real. You also really need rune controls. I think that's the key part of Tiny. And someone else has to be willing to push towers, because Tiny wants to be able to collapse, find a toss stun target, preferably a haste rune, invis rune. That's a kill, that's a gank successfully 100%.
He's one of the heroes that really relies on, you know, his team controlling the runes for him, because with the bottle, like if you have an empty bottle, he does not have mana regen. You do not want to be spending early gold on just getting that mana sustain in the lane, so definitely you need to be very careful about it. You know,
we've seen a lot of teams focusing very hard on the 4-minute rune and securing that one for their team. A lot of rotations happening around that time. If you're looking for action, that's normally the point in the game where something is happening because supports leave the lane. So, yeah, it's interesting how that's kind of like been a power spike in a way. Depending on which rune, of course, you can get a little unlucky sometimes. We got an Invoker ban and a Clockwork ban in the second ban phase. Anything in particular that says to you guys, or?
It's just the comfort picks that Viking really loves to play. Like Aramis and Clockwork yesterday, and a couple of days ago, the dude is just insanely good. And I think Clockwork as a position 4, like you get farm, and you can farm that Aghanim Scepter, which allows you to actually have like 2 initiations. It's a BKB piercing ability, so you can also stun like heroes into later stages of the game twice in a row, which is a pretty big deal.
What I want to know is, who did Aramis start his career with, and then, you know, was forced to leave them behind as he searched for greater things? Because Aramis was one of the 3 musketeers, technically 4 if you count Diargatin. There's no Porthos, and there's no the other guy. So where are they now? You know, I'd love to ask him about that.
Aramis is also a Lord of the Rings?
No, that's
Aragorn.
Oh my God, Sheeves. Sheeves.
Okay, can we cut this?
No, I know that there's an Aragorn, but I also thought that was an Aramis and Archer.
That's Legolas.
No, I know Legolas as well.
There could be. I mean, really, it's close enough. Right? Like, I'm sure there was.
If you
there's a lot. Have you read the
Aragorn
Silmarillion?
and Legolas, you kind of get Aramis.
No, because I know it wasn't one of the main guys.
Is it a Greek god, maybe? No, it is. It's some sort of deity from mythology.
I feel like we are Greek gods. We should know our brethren are.
Yeah, well, it's... I know it's 3 musketeers. That's what I'm being told in my ear, but that's the point. But we're trying to save Sheeves.
Who's the 4th one? Porthos?
Porthos, Aramis. Is it like Arthas? No, it's like...
No, the 4th one is the one in all the movies.
And +1.
How do you say that?
It says Gimli.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
The Argeton, but that's
D'Argeton.
D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. Okay, that's French.
It's
Athos.
the 3 musketeers.
It's like Athos. It's like Athos, Aramis, Porthos.
Yeah, Road of Athos and the other 3 musketeers.
Let's talk Dota, guys. You know, at least that's fun. You know, I know the heroes in the Dota game.
Yeah, I did not.
I love Chen against Gyro Wisp. This was typically the old school. If you watch Puppy or Kuro or Fly, whenever they go up against Wisps in the open, you always got to be concerned about their Chen, because the big counterplay to it, very weak in lane now, especially off all the nerfs. Chen, you just take early towers, you control lanes, and all of a sudden the Wisp Arrow have no real place to play the map because their mid tower and safe lane tower are already gone.
Yeah, after Soneiko left, they did not play Chen. That's what I checked on Dota Buff.
Ooh.
And yeah, so
Wait, are you serious? You have that? You checked that?
yeah, I believe so. I believe that's true. So
they're gonna put Misha. And what do you do?
no, I didn't write it down. I was just, I have a good memory, Kyle. It's probably wrong, but we can see the pattern that the Viking is doing. Like if you look at the way they draft, they open up with IO Gyro, and whenever it's a good Slardar game, if they know the matchup, which they know in this game against the Faceless Void, they go with Slardar, and they open up with the Phoenix as well. So IO Phoenix is not like the greatest combination. These two heroes can't make stuff happen. They're more like, oh, you're gonna come at us, and then we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
You can't just run around the map. So Slardar checks a lot of the boxes, low cooldown stun. Like once he gets a Blink Dagger, it's easy to initiate. So it's exactly what they needed. But NiP responds with Queen of Pain. Like they literally have not a single good hero against this, so I'm a bit afraid.
I really like NiP so far, just because the way they've got high sustain, you can tower push. Quap Void both aren't really threatened in this game, and Viking GG's just straight up team fights relatively weak. I think that the Phoenix has a lot of like you also don't really have stuns. Like I know Slardar's counts, but he wants to kind of play his own lane. He's not really going to be rotating, and both of your supports are like counter gankers. You're not going to show up and make plays. Whereas for NiP, you're going to have a Chen Tiny with two really versatile cores and a Quap that's going to be able to control the lane almost guaranteed.
What do you feel is missing then on the side of Ninjas in Pajamas? Like if you're saying like, okay, their lineup is already better than Vikings at the moment, what do you feel like they're lacking, if anything at all?
Soneiko.
Last hero, Soneiko, that's it.
Surprise!
He's back!
It could possibly... They already have like 2-3 heroes that can close the gap, just get on top of Gyro. Maybe something like a Beastmaster is going to give them more push. Or is Darkseer available? I believe he is. We've seen this combo.
No, Darkseer's banned.
Darkseer's banned? Okay.
Yeah. First ban on the side of NiP in the scheme.
I'm more worried about the Vikings' last pick. Like what it needs to do so many things. Like it needs to be very mobile. It needs to be a great laner against Queen of Pain.
That's the trouble. I actually always kind of disliked saving my mid for my Wisp team, just because it feels like no matter if it's open, it's our last pick, but there's such a small number of heroes that can fit the role that like Lacoste is envisioning. Because right now you'd prefer something that could frontline, a little bit of tower push. You want it to be able to rotate. It'd be nice to have a stun. Basically, Dragon Knight, but you can't pick it anymore. Whereas your offlaner can be way more versatile.
No, we're talking about Viking.
Oh, for Viking, yeah.
What they need for the Wisp. So you're looking for that style of hero. You could theoretically go for more, like there's different concepts. You can go for something like a Necrophos or like a Viper and just kind of get really tanky, but I'm not a huge fan of that. You can get all in on like the team fight. I've seen, again, Enigma special, they do like Wisp with like a last pick Ember for Miracle, but it's just real risky. Against all the stuns and the damage output of NiP. Their mid-game teamfight right now is nuts.
I'm not a big fan of the hero at the moment, but it could possibly be a good puck game. Like, they need some kind of silence against Faceless Void, against Queen of Pain. Otherwise, these two heroes are going to do so much. But they go with their, classic 10th pick, Ember Spirit.
I like it. It's
a root mechanic.
It's weaker in lane, but it gives us what we need.
Yeah.
Because now you can actually make plays. There's an Ember Spirit that's always going to be a threat when he's off map. You really love to utilize Wisp. If you ever get any bottle refills or just TPs in, Ember, if he can stay on map 24/7, is one of the best heroes in Dota, especially with the level lead. And the Quap vs Ember matchup is very skill-based because you can juke the daggers with a good sleight. So it'll be really a match to key on.
Yeah, you did say it was a little risky, by the way, as the odds are appearing on stream. They are actually in favor of Viking.
Yes.
Yeah, Viking overall just seems like a...
I guess it's not based on... but I guess it's not based on the draft. Thanks, Kyle.
What Slacks didn't know?
Slacks didn't know.
No, but I always think it's a little bit based on the draft. You guys have been talking how you like Ninjas in Pajamas better, but I guess the results of Viking obviously they come into account as well.
Yeah.
They're still favoring Viking in that.
The big benefit to NiP is that I think they're in their comfort zone. I have felt like Saberlight, his best hero, it's Pangolier. That's his bread and butter. You've got Charlie on what I consider his best hero, and for real, the only one that I've seen him, and I can say, yeah, Charlie is like he will win a game playing Void, and he will. And then you got a Quap mid for Supreme, one of our the more high skilled laners.
So what you're saying is start betting
I feel like
in this one.
NiP won the draft,
Yes.
like highly 70-30, but overall Viking just seems like their team fight execution, decision making is better, so I'm just gonna go with Viking. Like
You'd
I've
still
been
go for
really
them.
impressed with what they've been doing.
I don't agree, and I've not been impressed. NiP I haven't seen, but I think that there's got to be something. I'm sure they've been working hard. I've been saying for a month, as have others in the community, that kicking Snake was a mistake. I think the players got a chip on their shoulder. They're going to look to prove that they still got it, and they're going to take this first game.
Okay, well, let's find out what's going to happen in this first game of the series. And let's check in with our commentary team that this morning is Capitalist and Jenkins.
That's right. We're here for a pretty good match, I think, on our hands. I think this is a nice match to start off the day because I feel like it's two teams that are pretty solidly in that Tier 2 area and are really vying for making themselves go up to Tier 1 here at Omega League.
Yeah, I think so. NiP, they're playing with a new player. Oh, what am I hearing?
That was Thunder.
Oh!
That was the crash of Thunder from Zeus
Oh, my goodness.
on the Mount of Olympus.
It's all too much.
You really got to immerse yourself here in the environment that is the Omega League.
Saberlight is one of my favorite offlane players right now.
Really? Why is that?
He's fun to watch. His pub game, he's really upped it. I know people don't like us talking about pubs, particularly.
It's okay because you're talking about a pro player's pub.
Okay, yeah,
not
exactly, exactly. That's exactly why I'm going there. He's
Did he just pick up 4 bounty runes? What the hell?
That's
Viking GG. Okay, so Toby's probably going to get punished for this, or maybe not. He actually gets the 2-man crush,
Ooh,
and that'll
the
be
big
enough.
crush.
So he just walked up, took some bounty runes, and they got all 4.
Dude, that's 3 heroes too. It's not. That's not just like a casual 2-hero bounty rune steal. That's 3 heroes.
And man just walked into a bar and started swinging.
I mean, he's Slaughter, I guess. It's the river. That's his domain. Like,
Yeah.
He's confident there. All right. Good start.
So Saberlight upped his pub game. What do you mean by that?
I mean, the guy went from like some 7K pleb to 10K MMR over like a few months.
Oh, yeah.
It took a good kicking, and all of a sudden he just ups his game, and now he's God mode and competitive as well. In pubs, MMR usually reflects exactly how people perform in competitive. So, that's exactly what happened with him.
Toby. Going to be chased away here. Maybe if Charlie got a little lucky and got an early bash, but no such luck there. He's got the Aramis Phoenix behind him, so I feel like this lane should be kind of okay, even though it's up against a Chen. I feel like Phoenix should be a suitable babysitter for a Slardar. We haven't seen a Slardar in a while either.
It's
I
been
remember,
ages.
It was, sorry? What?
It's been ages.
It's been ages.
A long time.
A long, long time.
But you know what? He does a lot of minus armor now. You get the talent. He's been buffed. The ulti. It's big minus armor. Huge DPS.
So why haven't we been seeing him more?
Well, because he sucks.
Oh. All the minus armor in the world doesn't change that.
Well, it takes like 40 minutes to get to the big minus armor, but at that point, it's, fantastic. It'll work in competitive. I mean, they're going to make it work.
I was actually thinking about suggesting Slardar as a pick last night. Because it was like the Slark matchup or something, and you guys just wanted a really good laner against Slark, and I was like, well, there's always Slardar.
Yeah, I mean, he's great against any melee.
And he does have that melee matchup here up against the Faceless Void, and is winning in CS as a result. Looks like Supreme's the only one who's winning his CS matchup.
I think that's like a relatively even lane, isn't it? I mean, it would depend on the mid laner that you ask. Ooh, Saberlight. Did he TP to tower? He did.
Yeah. TP to the tier 1, had a healing salve, so he's going to be good to go to re-enter the lane pretty soon here.
Gyro IO is one of those, I think, maybe slightly underrated. It's hard to call it underrated because I feel like it always comes back into competitive. But Gyro's sitting on like a 60% pro level pub win rate right now. It's really insanely high. Like statistically speaking, the heroes. He's quite nice, even on his own.
Really?
I think so, and a lot of people, you know, we've been talking about how underrated IO is as well. I mean, especially in competitive, when you can actually communicate with your team and get those relocate ganks.
Supreme just really doing a great job here in solidifying a nice experience lead thanks to all those denies that he's getting out. He's got to be careful.
Brutal. Just 2 mid laners, 10% HP. Not fun for either of them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the 4-minute powder runes, because I'm sure both sides are, in order to tip this matchup one way or the other, the Supreme is going to be chased away and forced to use his blink here. I believe he does have his bottle coming in now, so should be able to heal up to near full. And then in just 20 seconds time, we're going to see them set up with the power runes, and if he does manage to get a refill on that, then he can continue to pressure Boom like he's been doing so far in this laning phase. But it's harder and harder to pressure the Ember Spirit as he gets to level 3 and level 5, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the magic shield, it's just your dagger doesn't do too much.
So, unsurprising, the supports are going to come into play here and see if they can set up for their core to get the right one. And Supreme actually gets the bottom lane regen.
Lucky. You love to see it if you're Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and you hate to see it if you're the Ember Spirit. Nice dodge there with a slight.
That's a weird one to dodge, because I think the dagger has to hit you as you're going through the slight. Like, you have to get kind of lucky. Maybe there's a way to game it. You could ask somebody like Gunner that, and they would know. Some Ember Spirit player. It's like, oh yeah, if you do it at 0.5 seconds after you hear the sound. Goddamn mid laners.
They're just way too into their mechanics.
They really are.
Game. Ugh,
Come
disgusting.
On. Peasants. Mechanics peasants.
Well, as a result, Boom is going to be looking a little worse for wear compared to Supreme. And Supreme, certainly the player that I look to the most in Ninja's Pajamas. I agree with you. Saberlight definitely, I really enjoyed my time talking to him at the Summit. Having him on the couch was actually wonderful. And he really stepped up at that tournament. He looked fantastic. I was really impressed with him. Nice toss over by Era to be able to protect himself. Not quite underneath the tier 1. Oh, they're going to lose their courier, though. Era is still maybe chased down here for a bit of damage.
Man, Tiny and Pangolier in a lane does not sound like a very lane-winning duo. You know, good heroes, great heroes, fantastic once you get to the mid-game. But in the laning stage, it's just kind of 2 melee guys that are totally okay with, okay, if we can just get experience, we're happy here.
Yeah. And compare that to the matchup that they're up against, the IO Gyrocopter. Like, that's definitely a lane you're not going to be able to pressure whatsoever.
Right. I mean, even strong lanes will struggle against an IO Gyro.
Charlie being given a little bit more solo experience time while the Chen makes his rounds through the jungle. Misha's going to be coming back in. Of course, that is their current stand-in. The replacement to Snako is Misha, who was most recently on Team Spirit for this season. Before that, I believe it was Positive Guys. It's not a player who has had success on the Tier 1 stage. But it is clear that Ninja's Pajamas have been looking for a captain, a leader. Even though Era has taken on that cap before, he said quite emphatically that he did not want to be a captain again, and he wanted somebody else to be able to take those reins. I believe he called himself a mercenary of war. That's what he wanted to be.
Oh, okay. So Misha's drafting?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure Era has, I mean, being, you know, like, since Misha's not actually on the team necessarily, and they're still trying to figure things out, I'm sure Era has to be more of a captain, but he said in an interview, like, I think it was like 3-4 months ago, he's like, I don't want to be the leader. I want to play 4 position. I want to focus on my own game. I don't want to try and be the guy.
It's a lot of
calls.
It's a lot of like hats to wear to be the captain and certain positions. I think there's not a coincidence that a lot of these really great captains are 5 positions. It's a role where you spend a lot of time, you know, sitting in trees, like waiting to soak smoke ganks and, you know, waiting for your team to get items. So you have a lot of time to think about the general game plan. And usually you're on heroes that can actually influence the general game plan. So it does make sense. Shen Phoenix, man. Who wins this matchup? Who wins this support battle?
Well, Aramis is going to try and prove that he can win it by killing some of those neutral creeps. Getting a bit of gold experience for himself. They're actually going to try and get in here. They do have the Rolling Thunder coming up for Saberlight, and he will get a nice bounce into the Gyrocopter. Now he's low enough he could take some physical damage and possibly die. If Saberlight's not careful, sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Overestimates just how much HP he had there. Era not going to be caught by that ult from the Gyrocopter, and Supreme will at least be able to turn this bit of a wonky fight back around to the favor of Ninjas in Pajamas.
Funny enough, I think if he was on the Dire side off lane, with the way that the terrain is there, he can maybe chain lock down the Gyro and possibly kill him. Pango's one of those weird heroes where it really depends on where you're fighting on the map, whether or not he's a broken hero, and just couldn't get the chain lock down there.
Boom, opting not to make the same kind of rotations as our Queen of Pain did. Instead, tries to pressure the mid lane, but Chen shows up,
with that, though,
Flame Guard, and
pick up a haste room.
Yeah,
that's a good time to go rotate. He uses it.
Yeah, there's no Sonic Wave for the Queen of Pain, so now it's his opportunity to flex his proverbial muscles here. He's going to be able to catch up to Era, and that should be kind of a freebie here, as it's eventually just going to run him down with this haste. They do have the Chen coming in. Well, perhaps with a Dispel, actually, they can bail him out. Once again, taking away that Flame Guard and the haste. This Dispel has been mega value, as he used it early on in lane to protect against the Fire Spirits. Roll in, Saberlight actually canceling it last second there. Now re-threatening it on Toby. Toby does manage to hit the crush before he gets it out, but Toby being so heavily slowed down, going to be bumped, actually hits the Ember Spirit as well. Back onto Toby again, that Dispel from this Purge Creep has been doing so much work, and it happened there as I believe he dispelled away the sprint. We're trying to go onto Saberlight now, boom. Is going to lead with the Gyrocopter to try and catch some of these heroes who've been diving in so deep. Saberlight jukes to the left-hand side away from the Gyrocopter. That disarm may have just saved him here. Boom. Does manage to hit the Tiny and spot Saberlight as well. So he may be able to get a secondary kill here if he has another round of Remnants coming up soon. But I think Slight by itself will be enough.
Very close. That's funny. I think he was, when he was slighting the creeps there, I think he was trying to slight the Ember.
Yeah, I think so too.
He was trying to slight the Pango, and then actually ended up getting the Tiny. Era's trying to save his core and walks in and dies, but Saberlight survives. Very good fight, and most importantly, they take the mid tower for NiP. So that was a pretty nice rotation. You don't usually see a 5-man towards mid. It's a pretty big commitment, but when your carry has a Chronosphere, which he didn't actually end up using, and I can hear the Meepo sound. You hear that?
Yeah. Is that the party music? I have that all turned off.
I'm so sick of I got sick of hearing that within just a few days. I think a lot of people did. Nothing again. That obviously, great engineering from Valve, and it was a good idea, but
yeah, unfortunately, Dota players only care about one thing, and it's playing Dota.
Yep. Yeah.
Even if it's like I can't play Dota right now because of pause, like I still want to just focus on the game.
Right. Not super replayable, that Meepo game either.
That being said, I could see a world where the musical chairs minigame is going to be super hype when we get to a TI. On main stage, we have some sort of pause, musical chairs comes up. If everyone actually competes, it'd be really fun.
Maybe do some prize.
Yeah.
Pause prize, whoever wins the most pause games.
You get a free bounty rune.
Yeah.
One shared tango. How about that? Make it a really small prize.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Randoming's been nerfed like that too, so
yeah,
doesn't give that much. Genius ideas coming out here.
Yeah, this is what you tune into the broadcast for. Our terrible suggestions on how to patch Dota 2. Push coming in with Siege Wagon. Viking GG. Is this going to be just a trade-off of pressure? Because neither one of the cores on either side has occupied their safe lane. Both of them have abandoned, moved on to farm it up jungle, and are letting their safe lane tower get pressured one way or another. So this will probably just be a simple trade-off, as happens plenty of times in the world of Dota 2 nowadays.
It's hard to play into a Slardar right now, too. I mean, the guy's sitting on almost 2,000 HP at 11 minutes in. That would require basically all of your nukes to kill him. So not something you really want to commit to. Just go for the trade.
Misses out on the last hit. You can see Boom making good use of the illusion rune there to be able to tank up the tower so his Siege Wagon gets more hits. As, that is the current advantage the Ninjas Pajamas had, as they took that mid tower nice and early. And why is that important, Jenkins?
Oh, well, it secures access. You can go from the enemy triangle to the enemy jungle. I mean, you can already go from your triangle to the enemy jungle, for example, because you just walk across the river. There's no tower there. But so it basically gives you this horizontal movement on the map. So it opens up, instead of just one form of movement, it opens up two, which, you know, is double the value. Very important. It's near Roche, too. There's some other reasons.
Committee of the Blink picks up the Invis rune, refilling up that bottle. Is going to be going for the fast Orchid in this game.
Mask of Madness, Faceless Void. Really looking to get active early. Don't want to go late game against Gyro IO with an Ember Spirit. And a Slardar to amp the damage.
Yeah, it feels like they may not have just like one single core that's really, really strong, but they've got all three of their cores going to scale nicely. Aramis, he's going to try and force them to commit the Sonic Wave in order to get this kill, and Supreme does indeed do that.
I mean, obviously NiP gets the kill there, but I actually really like that positioning from Aramis, just soaking up that gank there for
no!
What reaction time.
God damn, Boom!
Wow.
See you later, nerds. Indeed. What a jump away.
Dude, that's two big ganks basically avoided by Viking. Like, that is so nice. That puts you so far ahead in this game. There's no Chronosphere. It's time to make a move.
Yeah, Viking GG.
There's
they still have their relocate. They can make an aggressive move. The other three-man relocate in if they want to. They can have the Gyrocopter. IO lead the way. There's a lot of options here. Only thing they really have to be scared of is the team fight of Rolling Thunder at that point. There's the two-man smoke.
Yeah, they're going to the Slardar because they have the reload, so, you know, technically this is 5 heroes here in this gank.
They're going to move down to bottom just because it's one of the only heroes they see, but at the same time, the Queen of Pain has actually now shown herself. Oh no, actually, that's an Invis is showing herself because of the Sentry. They're going to actually try and go on a Shad here. Shad does manage to get off his ultimate before the Rolling Thunder comes in. Charlie time walking into all of this nonsense, but they will quickly deal with Celery, and it looks like Shad is going to be pressured enough with the help of Saberlight. Supreme comes in and cleans up that kill. Now they're going to turn on to Toby with Bash coming out from Charlie. He's not threatened by this Slardar one bit. He's got to get away from Boom, though. Still represents a lot of damage, especially with the relocate coming in from Celery. He's going to rejoin this fight. Bash up. They should be able to bring down Saberlight. Oh, he managed to get the other side there, but he burns out from the Fire Spirits. Aramis, who's chasing Era, manages to survive through that combination. Chase down underneath the tier 1 tower. Boom. With all that movement speed, thanks to the haste, is going to be able to get this kill in the support. But what about the cores? Supreme, he's okay for now. He's really man-fighting this one, and Charlie comes in and managed to hit one bash. Boom. Limp it away. Still has some remnants to go, but the relocate out. And it's the save from Celery, using that buyback for a hefty amount of good in killing maybe the Pango, but he didn't actually get the big cores.
Wisp is coming back.
And they're going to come back with the Sonic Wave. They're already taken out Aramis. That takes away that one of his tether points that he was looking for there. He'd actually already tethered to the Phoenix. So as a result of killing Aramis, they managed to get the kill on Celery as well.
I think it's fair to keep his core alive. You know, you're probably pretty okay with that. I think this all really goes back to just the fact that Chrono was down. You know, oh, Saberlight.
Got another swashbuckle, but can he get off the Rolling Thunder afterwards, or is the bash going to come in? No, he doesn't get hit in time. Toby is now going to be chain stunned up. They're looking for the toss back. He managed to work his way through that tight little passageway in order to land on the Slardar again. Now, Boom has his remnant up, but immediately gets disarmed. Chased down by Supreme. The double slows make sure he's not going anywhere. Even if he had a remnant, he wouldn't be able to make it go very far with those kind of slows. Double kill for Saberlight.
You know, fighting a Pango, just in a great spot for a Pangolier. They didn't have exactly enough burst to take him down, and he gets the ult off, purges the minus armor. All of a sudden, he's actually a threat. You have to see an aggressive relocate in. I think that's how they want to set up their ganks. They want, you know, an Ember Spirit to go in with the Slardar, and then follow up with the relocate. It's kind of been the opposite. It's like IO and Gyro getting gone on, which is not what you want.
And maybe that's part of the reason Ninjas of Pajamas made the play that they did, playing into the enemy jungle, kind of assuming that's very likely where IO Gyro is going to be, while the rest of the team is going to be on the other side of the map. Right? That's the one downside of the IO combination, is that you're just assuming, oh, my three-man's going to run into the enemy, we're going to relocate in. But what happens if it's the other way around?
Right.
It's a little dicey.
Exactly. Just depends on what you're comfortable playing against. Like, yeah, It's like Mid1 saying yesterday, they weren't afraid of the Timber because they just know how to play around it. And I feel like certain teams are also comfortable against an IO because they just know how to go to the IO combo, you know, and play around that. And NiP is looking really good with respect to that in this game so far.
Yeah, Ninjas Pajamas at a very comfortable position. Not up by a huge amount of net worth, but they've got a decent bump in experience at this point, and they've got the all-important Aegis of Champions to work with now.
Whoa, let's not get... It's a little... You know, they're looking pretty good by Aegis of Champions.
Is that too much?
That's a little too much.
I should have just said regular Aegis.
Yeah, I think
fair.
so. I mean, you don't want to psych them out. Like
Yeah.
Probably pretty nervous.
Oh, God, am I supposed to be a champion?
Oh.
That's too much pressure, man. Can't handle it. Air just pops in. Kills a creep wave. Doesn't get greedy with it. Doesn't go for those juicy ranged creeps sitting in the back. And as a result, he will keep his life for now, anyway.
Toby just
still on the hunt.
Sitting in the trees, not showing his blink. Although I'm not sure, has he revealed it yet? I think he probably has revealed the blink. I mean, imagine he's had it for a while now. Still, though, you don't want to show on Sardar. You know, you're the blink initiator. People are scared if you're just off the map.
Man, this is crazy how quick Ninjas of Pajamas' pace has been. Maybe it's in part because of the Chen. They had the early medallion to allow them to take Roshan and then all that teamfight potential. But they just rolled up, took Roshan, 5-mana to a tier 2, and now they're hitting a tier 3, which is going to force Viking GG back.
Oh, they're going in.
They're actually going to get the initiation.
Wow! Are you serious?
Dude, Ninjas of Pajamas, they're not messing around right now. They're saying, Viking GG, this is not going to be a long game.
What a call, man. Whoever made that call is a god.
That was a sick, nasty initiation, but really good follow-up as well. That was just straight-up teamwork. Era finds the initiation and does it again. A secondary time on a Toby. Unfortunately, that just leads into a crush. That was a little awkward, but still, a relocate back means there's no save for the gyrocopter just yet. Celery's going to come in. Aramis does manage to get off the Supernova. They're not sure how much they really want to dive into that area. They have to back away from the Supernova explosion. Can't commit for the gyrocopter. Still, though, that's going to be a ranged Rax, at least for now. Viking GG. Range Rax this early doesn't feel great, but they should be more concerned about the overall fight because the Orchid coming out, Rolling Thunder on through. They still have a bit of take damage on a Toby, but it's not quite enough to kill him. And Saberlight being very disruptive right now thanks to that Rolling Thunder, but it looks like he's going to be caught. Yule Scepter up in the air. He will manage to get a swashbuckle away to the side. Viking GG pressing forward. There's still a lot of healthy cores here, though, between Charlie and Supreme. They don't have a Chronosphere or anything like that, but they seem damn near fearless in being willing to take this fight up into the base, up into a high ground like this. Chains up. Oh, Supreme. He does have the Aegis. And with this secondary life, oh, Toby actually blinked right into the avalanche there from Era. That's a bit unfortunate. That was a good opportunity for initiation, but it's got a secondary follow-up. This time, he's going to catch Charlie and Era stunned up together. Looks like Era goes for the toss back onto the Ember Spirit, trying to keep its distance, but it's not good enough. Sleight of Fist does manage to get that kill. Aramis now going to see the opportunity. They've finally broken Ninja's Pajamas, and they're going for the deep dives. They're going to be able to slow down some of these heroes as they clean them up. It's going to be Saberlight left behind with the two supports. They're going to be the ones to fall. Queen of Pain and our Faceless Void, the main cores of Ninja's Pajamas, do manage to walk away with their lives.
Man, so much just happened within a 2-minute window. That was some absolutely beautiful Dota. That call to dive base, like the typical play there is you just, okay guys, let's force them back. It's so obvious, everybody knows this, but they went in. It's less than 20 minutes into the game, and they're diving tier 3s 5 versus 5. That is insane. And then both teams sticking together so well in these team fights. You have the Wisp saving people, you have the mechs, you have the Sun Rays, you have Chronosphere being held until the last possible second, Chen holding his ult until the last possible second. Like, both of these teams are looking like such solid units when it comes to team fighting. Like, there's some AI all playing like the same. It's you know, they're one person playing all the heroes, one super powered AI. Man, that was some beautiful Dota. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, we promised it was going to be a pretty fun series, and it's panning out to be just that for this game one anyway. Toby, he's going to be found around the outpost.
Dude, that is one of the most fun places to bounce around as Pango. There are so many things to bounce off of there.
Boom, just tries to push it to the limit a little bit more. He tries to push the creep wave in to bottom. He does pick up a plate mail, so he's going to be a lot tankier if he gets caught in the Chronosphere. We do have a BKB, though, for Charlie. This is such a early game build from a Faceless Void. Just pajamas. You can see the style that they brought to this one. Now, this is going to be a Chronosphere where he can quickly deal with the support, and with the follow-up coming in from his support, he might just be able to deal with Chad as well. Shad going to be stuck here. Can Boom bail him out? Not really. There's nothing to stop this BKB Charlie as he pushes forward on the Faceless Void. They do have the Remnant over to the side. They can still kind of catch up, though. He throws a second Remnant away. Unfortunately for Ninja's Pajamas, the creep wave's a little bit too far back, so they can't really go for that melee barracks just yet.
So that looks kind of funny, just like, you know, like what are Io Gyro doing there sort of thing, but I actually understand why they were there. The creep wave is so pushed so far out, you don't think a Faceless Void is just going to chrono you from the high ground there.
Sure.
You're like, well, he's surely going to be playing at like one of these camps behind the creep wave, but no, Charlie's he's hunting. Like you said, he's got an early game build, he's got the BKB now, he wants to fight.
They're just fighting non-stop. The initiation, though, this time to Viking GG, but an interception from Saberlight as Supreme, with that small moment, managed to get off his BKB and escape as a result. Boom. He wants a little bit more, knowing that BKB has already been used as well as the Blink. They just push forward and say, all right, Ninja's Pajamas, they're not strong right now. We can take a fight to them, and if they don't fight us back, we'll at least get this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, that mech and Chen ult, like these have been so crucial for. I don't know if he Chen ulted there. Maybe he would hold it. He's been doing a really great job holding it until the last possible second and baiting with it. But just the mech has saved people at 10% HP so many times in this game. And, you know, there are only a certain amount of nukes that you have in Dota. So as long as you give a little, you know, 10, 20% extra HP, sometimes it's enough to keep somebody alive.
So this fast play from Ninja's Pajamas, super fun to watch. But there is a downside to this, right? It feels like if they don't actually crack Viking GG in the next like 5 to 10 minutes, their lineup is going to fall off a little bit more than you would expect it to. Right?
This is true, right? They've got no Battle Fury, they've got no, you know, no Midas. They have some very fast-paced, but not necessarily great farming heroes. So yeah, you're totally right. When you're playing against an Io Gyro, the Gyro is almost always going to be the most farmed in the game. It's just so easy for him to constantly flag things down and move across the map, max move speed. So, yep, totally right. I think Io Gyro too, with the other cores that they have in this game, going late game, I think Viking definitely have a really nice shot in this game to win this. So the pressure's on for NiP.
That being said, because they managed to get so many objectives very early on to the match, the Ninja's Pajamas, both their cores in the Queen of Pain and Faceless Void, are not too far behind this Gyrocopter. And our Faceless Void, well, the biggest problem is going to be for him later on is just the dwindling BKB charges. But it definitely feels like Ninja's Pajamas, they want to keep up this pace. I think they really wanted to be able to take at least that top melee barracks before the next round of Roshan, but it's looking like they may just have to wait for that. It'd be a shame if you try to force yet another fight, lost it, lo and behold,
you lose Rosh, yeah.
Respawns, they get the Aegis, and you're like, well, shit, what do we do now?
I feel like the game is just over if that happens. So
Yeah.
I once again, like you said, I totally understand that they're not doing it. But they do have, you know, it's only ranged creeps that are the big boys in that lane, but they've got a little bit of an advantage. It is always going to be shoving in, just a little bit slower than if it was melee creeps. So you do have that map advantage of somebody always having to be up there to deal with that.
Now, the play, it makes sense. It's kind of the play they have to do. I think that the risks are too high. But at the same time, there is risk to waiting, right? We are giving time for Viking GG to get their BKB items and big teamfight items. Supreme is going to be able to get away from that initiation. No BKB forced out of him. So, he's chill for now. But like Toby's very close to his BKB. Shad already got his, and we're going to have Shiva's soon for the Ember Spirit. So they're going to wait for this Roshan, but Viking GG will hit a very nice power spike, and I think they'll be more than happy to contest a Roshan.
Honestly, that new Shiva's minus healing is going to be pretty nice in this game because I feel like so much of NiP's teamfight has been the Chen healing with the mechanism and with the Chen ult. And so, what is it, 25% now? The Shiva, it's something like that. That might be enough, even a small number.
Era does manage to catch Aramis here, and they follow up with the Orca, but they need a little bit more nukes, and that's where the Sonic Wave comes into play. There's going to be no Supernova until the buyback, actually. Gyrocopter throwing out his ultimate. Saberlight's going to go for the chain stunning onto this Slardar. He should just be dead straight up from this. They're actually going to make sure that the IO can't really bail him out. Saberlight making that next level play to find these backline heroes, but Shad, his BKB's running a little bit low. They're going to go for the Supernova now, but he's surrounded by Ninjas.
That's a dieback.
Heroes. That's a dieback for the Phoenix, and it could be worse. As more heroes are coming in, they still haven't used their Chronosphere. They're going to pop in now to be able to catch the IO with the Gyrocopter together, and if they kill Shat and they kill Celery again, that's going to be potentially another dieback. Same goes with Toby, who's right in the midst of this, going for that Faceless Void, but he doesn't really have the attack speed to keep this up, especially with the disarms there from Saberlight. Not going to be getting those chain bashing. That's going to be a rampage for Supreme. Ninjas Pajamas just taking over this game now as they're going to continue this fight. It doesn't stop. They've got the Orchid on the Ember Spirit. He came down from the Yule Scepter, so he's dead again. A double rampage for Supreme, and let's make it a triple. Let's make it a quadruple. They can still catch it to Shad as well as Celery if they want to. One more buyback. Boom says, surely this is going to be enough. 8 heroes wasn't enough. Maybe 9 will be. He's burning them down, but Charlie, he managed to get the time walk away. He's teeping up on a Yule Scepter. Managed to stop him. Saberlight in the top right looks like he's going to be run down by Shad. We're going to focus on the Void for now because he at least has a chance of survival, I think.
Relocate.
But he gets chained up, relocate in to finish him off, and finally, Viking GG do manage to win the end part of the engagement. It cost them everything. Everything they had, Jenkins.
They've got about one more fight in them. The good thing is Roche is up. The unfortunate thing is their Slardar is dead. I think if Slardar was alive at the end of that fight, they just instantly take Roche, and this game looks like it might last, 5 to 10 more minutes at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah, if only they could force Roche on right now, be like, okay, we've got an Aegis at least.
Yeah. Not happening without Slardar, though.
In which case, Ninjas Pajamas, they're in the position, it's like, okay, we're the ones who are going to force the Roshan fight.
Oh, yeah. They've got no buybacks on Viking. What do you do?
Yeah. As long as they get, if Era farms up his buyback, and he's the one who starts the fight.
Oh, that's the dream.
Yeah, then you're in a great position because Viking GG have no buybacks. Era's going to start the fight, die, respawn, come back.
They're going for it.
Okay. Surely Ninjas Pajamas, there's no way you let them just sneak this in, right?
No way. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
No way.
I feel like they had such an advantage to be able to throw, but I guess with no Chronosphere, maybe they're a bit skittish to be able to take this fight. They're going to go in now, catching Aramis once again before he can go over the dive away with the Sonic Wave. The roll in from Saberlight. They don't manage to stop it. Shad picks up the Aegis just in time, and they can still fight this out, but Charlie's still putting in some good damage, trying to finish off Toby. He gets off the cheese in time, but he's so damn slow from the time dilation and into the arrow combination as well. The supporting cast is gone from Viking GG, and it's pretty much up to Shad, but he's surrounded by so many heroes that he just can't get out of here. He's going to lose his first life, and very likely the second life will be just as bad as the first. Unless Doom can come in and do something crazy. It's a 2 versus 4, and they're throwing everything they had to be able to win it, but they know it's over. It's done and dusted. That is game 1. Ninjas the Pajamas will take it in emphatic fashion, man. That was a very fun game to watch, even if it was a little short.
That call to dive the high ground at 18, 19 minutes